Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. And this video is a reaction to one of the most interesting musical headlines I've caught all week. I mean, I've been seeing people report on this left and right across the music journalism sphere. And apparently there's a new company out there that is allowing just regular, average, everyday people, but your regular, average, everyday person doesn't throw their money into the stock market, so whatever. But is allowing consumers to invest money in music royalties. And apparently the first artist that this company is selling royalty shares of is the one and only Eminem. And Eminem is a huge artist, and the idea of investing in his music is kind of tempting. I mean, over here, just see all of these articles. Like, there's multiple articles over here. And in this NPR piece where they're talking about this, they bring up a lot of interesting points about just the value of music and how it sort of trails off very quickly. However, the data that they cited for that was old, sort of pre-streaming data, but you have to imagine that today the value and relevancy of a song, while it may get even more intense, it may reach a higher intensity point than it did back during the era of CDs, you have to guess that the relevancy and interest in a song overall is going to trail off much quicker than it may have in the era of CDs and radio and the like. But from my perspective, one thing that's kind of interesting and worrying about this, to kind of take this idea and push it forward to a place where you have access to so many more artists, not only that, but maybe current day or contemporary artists, is that you could potentially have these huge conflicts of interest, and not that there are a lot already, there fucking are, but you could have these gigantic conflicts of interest all over the music industry with producers, label heads, music journalists, or people who run music journalism outlets, or companies like Condé Nast who own Pitchfork, basically investing money in the artists that they hype up, that they feature, that they put on their television show, so that it becomes this endless money cycle. So the more royalties that are made off of their music, or the more that they hype this artist up, the more relevant they're going to be, the larger the chance is that there's going to be larger royalty payments, and then that money is just sort of made back to that person. While the idea of being involved in such a scam is interesting, it would certainly line my pockets. Looking at it outside objectively, like, I can just imagine the orgy of unethical bullshit that this could potentially create. And again, it's not like much of the music industry isn't already an unethical orgy of bullshit. So, I don't know, the idea of investing in Eminem's music is, to me personally, just as a thinking in terms of someone who, hey, I have some money, I want to invest in something. What should I invest in? Music is something I care about, and Eminem is an artist who is very big, is very popular, has sold a ton of records over the years. However, how long is that relevancy going to last? And even if he reaches supposed classic status, what does that even mean? And not to say that Eminem hasn't already, but, you know, in the next 10 years, will we look back on Eminem in the same way that we look at Led Zeppelin? And if we do, what does that really mean? Because from what I read in the article here, apparently we're talking about royalties for a specific section of Eminem's discography. Are we buying royalties in his good tracks or his bad tracks? Like, if this were going to be a feasible idea, it would need to be open to more artists, and we would need access to more material from those artists. You know, it could be very interesting. However, in the long run, I could only see this sort of thing being feasible and actually making people money if they're really only looking to make a very quick buck in the short term. Like all of a sudden a Trinidad James comes up out of nowhere and you're just like, buy Trinidad James shares. And then as soon as like his hype dies down, you just totally just, create this crash. And in music with popularity and relevancy, it's very much like our economy right now. There are these huge boom and bust cycles, and not that that's necessarily a good thing. I don't think it really is. And I feel like letting something like this run wild across the music industry could kind of make that worse. Again, there are lots of issues and hypotheticals that come up as a result of this sort of concept. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Should I invest in Eminem's music? Should I take all my money in the bank, put it in Eminem royalty stock? Let me know. You guys are the best. Hit me up down in the comments. Over here next to my head is another video I think you should check out. And you can click on that, or you can click on the link to subscribe to the channel. Love you, love you. Anthony Fantano. Forever.